2 years ago, no one would have believed that James Harden would be a Brooklyn Net. 1 year ago, if I would have said Russell Westbrook would be a Laker, I would have had comments saying I was insane. But every season, a crazy trade happens that no one sees coming. That means an insane trade is going to happen next offseason. So we need to guess what's coming next. By the way, I have to give a shout out to an AM Hoops Plus member named Tim. He actually came up with this video idea. I thought it was super legit because there's a legit reason for this video. We're not just having fun here. This stuff could happen. And the reason is next year's free agency sucks worse than...
God, this place officially sucks worse than the WNBA. And at the top of the second half, it's 16-9. Easton leads the scoring with 4.
And that's why she commands $7,000 a year.
Okay, that was uncalled for. Who put that in there? Do we need to fire the editor? Anyway, the best free agent next year is like Zach LaVine, maybe. I mean, he could easily re-sign with the Bulls. Outside of that, it's going to be James Harden or Bradley Beal if they opt out. The only guarantee is like TJ Warren. So, teams need a superstar trade because a big signing is not available. And I just did something like that. My wife and I moved to Houston, Texas, and the problem is that we have nowhere to live, right? Right now I'm at my cousin's house. That's why you might see Dudley in today's video. So instead of like waiting for a year for that perfect house to show up, we just closed on a house and we move in November. We had to make a deal happen and we got lucky, so it worked out. The same thing is gonna happen with some team and some disgruntled superstar. So what if Russell Westbrook bombs as a Laker, which could easily happen? I could see LeBron looking to trade him, and the perfect match could be Kyrie Irving to the Lakers, plus Patty Mills to make the salary work. The Nets get Russ. Now, the big issue here is Kyrie and LeBron's relationship, but they did win a title together in Cleveland. There is a chance that they could squash that beef to go after another chip. Maybe Kyrie has been humbled, thinking that he could do it on his own by failing in Boston, then in Brooklyn. Also, Russ joining up with KD and Harden to finish what they started would be insane. The OKC Big Three getting back together again would be one of the greatest storylines in NBA history. I also like the Nets roster for Russell Westbrook as a fit. They don't have a traditional center with DeAndre Jordan gone, and Russ could run point without a big clogging up the paint. Now, I know that Kyrie is obviously a problem and a drama queen, but getting Patty Mills for depth at point really helps LA. This would be one of the wildest trades that we have seen, but remember, a wild trade happens every single offseason. Our next what-if trade, James Harden to the Sixers, Karl-Anthony-Towns to the Nets, and Ben Simmons, Matisse Thybulle, and 2 Philly picks to the Timberwolves. Yes, another Nets trade because this team could fall apart like this guy's plan to ride a pony.
Oh, good.
All it would take is James Harden deciding he didn't want to be a part of this Nets circus after all. This Kyrie thing gets worse or gets different, which it always has as long as he's been in the NBA, really. The Nets are an early postseason exit again, and I could see Harden wanting to bail. Plus, Harden has not signed his extension, which gives the beard the leverage. And if the Nets don't accept his trade demand, then Harden could just walk for nothing. So instead, they are lucky to get Karl-Anthony-Towns in a deal. It's just a matter of time, too, before Cat and the Timberwolves get divorced. And his fit in Brooklyn is almost perfect. KD plays the 4, Cat plays the 5. They don't have the best defense in the world, but they are still a legit contender. The Timberwolves get Ben Simmons, who is a decent pair with D'Angelo Russell in the backcourt. And if his trade value increases this season, then a package of Tease plus Ben and picks actually makes sense for Towns. Look, I know this video is about looking at wild trades that we don't see coming, but this next deal would be a first in NBA history. The Knicks get Zion Williamson, the Pelicans get RJ Barrett, Obi Toppin, and 4 first-round picks. Now, there is a lot to break down here, so hear me out before you tweet that I'm an idiot. There have been rumors that Zion wants out and he's not happy in New Orleans, right? And even if Zion says that that's not true, we know his family is not happy. It started when Zion was drafted to NOLA. People speculated that it wouldn't last, just like with Anthony Davis. They couldn't build a contender around AD, so the pressure is on with Zion. Then Zion Zion gets injured, and reports said he hated the way that they handled his injury and his minutes. It was really frustrating to see Zion get pulled out of games when he was clearly playing well and looked healthy. Then the front office guy, David Griffin, pissed off a lot of people, lying to JJ Redick about where he would get traded. Griffin's trades have been suspect too. This man not only got rid of Drew Holiday, then got Eric Bledsoe and Steven Adams. Like, are they trying to win? Then he failed to re-sign Lonzo and blew the Kyle Lowry deal. So yeah, Zion could be the first guy ever to turn down a rookie max extension. Still, you might ask, why so little for Zion, right? I mean, the Pelicans could probably get most superstars out there who are in trade talks. Well, the reason is Zion is willing to turn down that rookie max extension. Then this guy knows what he wants. And if Zion comes out and says, I'm not going to re-sign with any team but the Knicks, then no team is going to give up their big superstar for Zion on a rental. It could kill his own trade value and force the Pelicans to take a lesser offer if he gets vocal about things. And don't forget about what Zion said about New York.
New York is the mecca of basketball. I love playing here. When I played here in college, and this is my first time playing here in the pros, and I mean this atmosphere, you know, whether they're cheering for you, whether they're booing for you, it's amazing. Honestly, I think outside of New Orleans, obviously, I think this might be my favorite place to play outside of New Orleans. I can't even lie to you. I can't lie to you.
The Jazz get Paul George and Terrence Mann. The Clippers get Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gay for salary. The Jazz flame out early in the playoffs again, despite another good regular season. Spida Mitchell is a loyal guy, but he can only take so much. So Utah tries to trade Rudy Gobert to make Spida happy, but no one's going to take that big man on such a big contract. So he is forced to demand a trade. The Jazz ask around, and the Clippers are willing to deal their star, assuming that PG plus Kawhi doesn't work for a third straight postseason. PG, by the way, is actually just 31 years old, so he's still in his prime. And the Jazz figure a two-way star is exactly what they're missing. Obviously, this is not good for the Jazz in the long run because Donovan Mitchell is so much younger, but this is the Jazz going all in to win a chip right now. Also, Utah doesn't do this deal without Terrence Mann. At his best, Mann is a poor man's Donovan Mitchell without the playmaking, but they have that covered with Mike Conley anyway. Look, without Kawhi in the playoffs, Mann showed that he can score at an elite level, inside and out. The Clips don't like including him, but a star like Spida doesn't come around very often. And why didn't I include Damian Lillard in a trade? That's because A, it was too obvious, we can see that coming. And B, I think he's gonna get traded before this year's trade deadline. This video shows all the teams that actually make sense for Dame.